Alright everybody, welcome to another Dead by Daylight video. So this week I wanted to talk about the Blood Moon event because I didn't talk about it last week. I wanted to wait until some changes might happen. They didn't really happen, but so there's been a lot of controversy with the Blood Moon event, mostly that it's not good. Now, I'm not going to be the person who's going to be contrarian and be like, actually, it's really good, because it's not. This game has a lot of flaws. However, the general concept I feel is good, and I'm going to get into that here in a minute. So, the first thing with the Blood Moon event is that the blood generators are the biggest appeal to this. And what they basically are is generators with another objective tied to them that aren't really generators, which is part of the problem with them. But you can fill them up in about 2.5 cans that you can lug around from the gas stations or the fuel pumps or whatever you want to call them, and the survivors can bring them back. Now, this, I think, in concept is perfectly fine. The problem I have with it is that while I do like the idea of them not being treated as generators for slowdown perks and like toolboxes and things like that, that's cool. The fact that they don't affect fire up or coup or like pig's power or any power that relates to generators like Houndmaster and Freddy's teleport, that's honestly the biggest issue, and I hope it's something that can be fixed if they do this next time. Because I think the general concept of this is fine. Because I think a lot of people are going back and saying, like, last year's was fine. And I'm just saying, a lot of people had complaints about last year's where it basically felt like a nothing event. Say what you will about this one, at least it feels like something's happening. But the bigger complaint that's been happening is that killers didn't really get anything. Now, here's what I'm going to say about this. Because while I do understand this complaint, killers didn't really get anything. Every time an event has happened... This includes the Halloween event, the Snowman event, anything like that. Even to a degree like the anniversary event, I heard some people complaining about this. Every time the killer is given like a separate objective or something else they can do, people complain that the killer doesn't have time to do these things. And doing them is almost pointless at some point because you're just going to lose the match anyways. So I don't think really necessarily adding another thing for the killer to do would matter. Now, there are a few things that they could do that I think could improve the event a little bit. I think killers should get aura on the fuel pumps. I do think that should definitely be a thing, because that would probably stop how fast the blood gens are going. Because I think part of the reason why they're going as fast as they are is because you have to go to the gen itself and kick it. Meanwhile, the survivor is off getting more blood at a gen or at a pump that you know nothing about or where it is or anything like that. Object permanence and all of that, but if you don't even know where it spawns at, it doesn't help you. I can see some issues with this from killers camping it and such like that, but I really don't think that would be that big of a deal with how many are scattered around the map. The other problem with this is that the survivors really don't have a reason to drop the jugs. They do get slowed a little bit, and they do leave like blood trails around as they move. But the slow isn't significant enough for most people to want to drop them, on top of the fact that the idea of it tracking is, I don't want to say it's broken, but it doesn't work as well as I think Behavior probably wanted it to, because of just because of how Dead by Daylight works, especially on certain maps. The blood just kind of blends into the floor, and it makes it hard. So killers being able to knock over the jugs is a cool idea, but it almost never happens. Another thing that I wish they would do with this mode is make it so when killers down a survivor, the jug also drops. I think that could be just the simplest of change. It's kind of baffling to me that if the killer downs somebody, it doesn't matter. And on the topic of the gen regression thing, the only thing the killers can realistically do to the blood gens to slow them down is to kick them. Now, this is base kick speed. Now, for those who don't know how this works, technically speaking, whenever a killer kicks a gen, it does lose 5% immediately. However, on a blood gen and on every gen, the regression it gets from there is a fourth of what the survivor has to do to get it back. This is to compensate for the fact that there's one killer and 4 survivors. Basically, what this means is that if you kick a gen and it regresses for 20 seconds, for the survivor's side, that's actually 5 seconds because of how the math works. So it's almost not worth kicking, which is a shame because the way the community challenge works is that the survivors have to do the gens to progress it, and the killer has to kick the gens to progress it. So in an ideal world, the killer should be making that number go up higher and faster, especially since there's one of them, so 1 to 4, blah, blah, blah. Math works out kind of, not really. and the survivors doing the 1-gen makes it pop. Now, the problem with this is that killers don't really have an incentive to kick the gens, on top of the fact that a lot of the times the blood gens go so fast you don't even have time to get to the gens before they're kicked, which leads me into the other issue, which is because of how fast the games are going, which I enjoy personally. It's probably the thing I like about this mode the most, is that games go super quick. And I know that's something people don't like, and I have said in the past I'm not the biggest fan of games going super quick, but I feel like with how fast this game mode goes, it kind of works itself out. But because the games go super quick, the only killers that are really viable, and I use that word in heavy air quotes because, yes, against certain survivor squads, anything's viable, blah, 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 I know. But for the most part, even against, like, pretty average players, you can't really do much if you're a killer with, like, no map mobility, or no ability to get around the map, which, again, brings us back to Freddy and Houndmaster, because they are killers who can do that, but they can't because their mobility is tied to generators, and these aren't generators, so it doesn't really matter. So, like, is it a perfect game mode? No, it has a lot of flaws, and I've already mentioned some of them. And that's not even counting perk variety on both sides, and the issue with the offering being personal and not, like, stacking with everybody else, and the fact that the killers only get that bonus 100% from kicking gens and hitting people carrying jugs, which is fine. I don't think it's, like, terrible. I'm still getting a lot of blood points. And the fact that the percentage increase on the blood points, which we're currently at 375 while I'm recording this, works in both the event mode and the standard mode, which I think is a fine idea, because it's like, oh, everyone's contributing to it. But the problem is, now you've literally given people who don't enjoy this mode less of a reason to play it, because they're not even progressing the community tab, so why would they really care? What I think Behavior should have done, if they're listening, which I know they probably aren't, is they shouldn't have made it both modes get the percentage increase until we hit the cap. So once we hit the 500%, then make it so the normal mode gets it. Because we're done with the event. We've done everything we can. We did it there, and now we can go into the normal mode, play it like normal, and get our 500% bonus blood points, which I think would be a cool way to do it. Another flaw with this is that and this is something that happens every event, and I wish it was something they would do more often, but because we got so many blood points this event, and because I'm dumping so many into certain killers, I have like 100 on Ken, because I've been trying to Prestige 9 him to get him where I am with every other killer, and to have some spare add-ons and such. But because I have like 120 of these things, I'm not going to be able to use them all before the event's over. So once the event's over, they're just going to sit in my inventory. So I wish Behavior would, I don't know, maybe give us blood points for them. I did hear a suggestion to turn them into Bloody Party streamers once the event's over. That could be interesting. I don't know how much that would break things, or maybe just make it a pudding or a cake. That could work too. But overall, like, the event idea is sound in theory. I do hope Behavior does take the feedback and does adjust things later. I don't expect them to change too much with the event, considering we have like a week of it left. And that is something else I think a lot of people do need to realize. The events, they can't put too much time and effort into these things, even though they do put at least a decent amount in. But they can't put too much in, because these are limited time things that more than likely won't come back or be readjusted the next time. Again, I don't hate the event in concept, but I think the way it was executed was not good. So I'm preaching to the choir and saying things most people have already said. But I still have had my fun with it. It does shake things up ever so slightly, and I will say I have been using a lot more builds with that don't have any slowdown in it, and it's been kind of nice to experiment that way and kind of be forced to do that. If I had to give one point of praise to this event, it's that. And I also think it's nice that Behavior is kind of experimenting with changing how generators work, because they've been trying to find ways to maybe do this in the base game. I think one of the best changes they could do right now to the Blood Moon, that probably won't happen but could, just lower the blood gens to 3 instead of 4, and that right there fixes most of the issues that I think I have with the mode, and a lot of people do. On top of that, make it so that generator-related things that aren't regression, I don't know how you would have to code that, but it is what it is. But Pig's Traps, Freddy's Teleport, Houndmaster's Dash, Coup, Fire Up, a lot of these perks that affect this way, make it so they can work in this game mode, because it does kind of suck, because Fire Up's a really fun perk, and so is Coup, and I would love to use it in the game mode, but you kind of can't, because you're playing with fire that they actually do a normal gen. It honestly makes me wonder why the normal gens are even in the mode and they're not all just blood gens, but that's a whole other piece of discussion. But I'm going to show some games from the Blood Moon event. I know I already have a few times, but I had my fun. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Tell me what you guys think of the Blood Moon event. Have a good one. And yeah, bye. The last meter of Punishment of the Damned inflicts torment. Just the last meter.
What the hell? I need the exercise. Let's play the quiet game.
Nice. I thought I could hit the scamper.
Why are you hiding? I'm the freaking good guy.
I can take that. The idea I had for it was to do just that, encourage long shots. Because I feel like he doesn't really have anything that does that. Was someone nearby? PTB base kit. I can't believe they just made a base kit and not an add-on. Like, at the very... Like, an add-on, like, I wouldn't agree with, but, like, I could still be like, you know what? I get the reasoning. You know what I mean? Top 3 unbeatable. Oh, yeah, for sure. I wouldn't, maybe not that high. I don't know if it would go that high. You think she runs back in? Woo! I still got it, chat. There are moments when I'm playing where I'm like, man, I suck at this character. And then that happens. And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe actually I don't suck at this character. Maybe I'm actually like the best. I'm kidding. Yeah, man, you gotta be quiet. I'm not opening the door, baby girl. I'm sorry. Rapid brutality value. Cage is not being consistent and being a non-mobility killer is the only reason it can work. Yeah, well, again, and my other idea for, like, I've had an add-on idea that, like, halves the range of Punishment of the Damned but makes it a cone. I think that could be interesting. Gotti. I had one for an idea where you like an iridescent where you lose the ability to torment, but you can shoot the you can shoot it in front and behind you. Nice try, Kate.
Quiet time. Stop running from a doll, will you?
I ever mention how much I hate life? Now, where did you go? I did not mean to let go. I don't know why I did. But I'm going to keep it 100% with you guys. A buck, if you will. Line of sight block, line of sight block, line of sight block. No reason to not to.
How's it hang?
If he makes that, nope.
Let's go.
Almost.
Just die already.
Oh, he played that super smart. I keep helping.
You can't run from me, you stupid shit.
Doing a tech, I see. It's not really a tech. Oh, good shit. What? Did he keep running? Where'd he go? Did he hop back over? I legit didn't see where he went. Take it. Not even close, baby! I always think it's funny when I see your clips of standing still with Survivor's Road. It happens way more than it has any right to.
You didn't stand a chance. You're dead, you hear me? Dead.
Oh, she kept running? Nice. I don't know if she did that on purpose or not.
For you, pisshead.
Like that. There's a situation where it happened.
That's what you get when you play with dolls.
Not a great plan there, Tori. She probably ran to the other gate. I would have.
Run, dipshit.
GG's. That was a fun match. Mother's dwelling could be worse. Technically it can't, but still. Oh, my obsession first? That's actually fucking goated. Well, a reminder that Ken didn't get the change, but he started out with 40, so... Because even I forgot that shit. Oh. Okay, well, she left the loop. I was paying zero attention if anyone had a flashlight, by the way. I will say, once you get like I've been saying this for a little bit. If you want to get good at, the slides, play this build for a little bit. I swear you'll get like stupid good at them. Hi. This build kind of forces you to get good with them. Did you go into Shack? Oh, there you are. Oh. Quick and quiet? That is an example of rapid would have helped me. Oh, that works for me. I'll take it. I just gotta avoid the Jake for a little bit. Set the Neo? Yeah. You seem like a type that had dead hard. Boop. And you go. I don't have to use my power half the time. That's great. Down you go. This is why I like this build, man. You just, it's chase to chase to chase to chase. There is almost no downtime, and it's fucking incredible. I would really love it if you guys came over to body block. That would be great. Up you go. I see you, Kate. Man, when it works, it works. GG's.